how it all went south.
Jason, as I was telling you and telling everybody listening here, this story is to me very funny. And I always say that you can laugh at something, a crime story, when no one has actually gotten hurt or killed. Then to me, you've got to pass for it to be funny when it really is. 6 men in China were convicted of attempted murder despite no murder taking place. The 23 and by the way, as this takes place in China, I'm going to do my best. If you're out there and you speak Chinese, you speak Mandarin, apologies in advance. This is not my native tongue, but I will likely butcher some of these names.
I'm glad the shoe's on the other foot. You know how bad I am at stumbling over words. I'm glad it's in your court today.
Yeah, but I mean, I am admittingly, I'm pretty milquetoast, and so these are going to be probably funny to someone who speaks the language. In the 2013 case from Guangxi province stands as a testament to both human greed and reluctance to commit violence, as 5 hitmen progressively diluted a murder contract until the final assassin chose cooperation over killing. That might not make any sense to you. Cooperation over killing. In the bustling real estate market of southern China, the developer Tan Yui found himself in a precarious position. His rival, a businessman only known as Wei, had filed a lawsuit against Tan's companies over a development dispute in 2013. Fearing financial ruin if the lawsuit proceeded, Tan concluded that eliminating Wei would be the most cost-effective, or would be more cost-effective than actually facing this guy in court. So I'm not sure I'm going to win this lawsuit.
He's got a Excel spreadsheet open where he's like
he's analyzing it,
pros and cons.
Yeah. This calculated decision would spark an extraordinary chain of events that would eventually see all parties involved facing prison sentences, including even the would-be victim. Weird. What followed was perhaps one of the most unusual murder plots in criminal history. Tan approached a hitman named Zi Gangan, maybe that's his name, offering a substantial sum of 2 million yuan, or yuan, I think it's pronounced, which is approximately 282,000. I actually looked that up. It's yuan, according to Google, which is approximately $282,800 U.S. money, to eliminate Wei. Rather than carrying out the deed himself, Z saw an opportunity for profit, keeping half the money and subcontracting the job to Mo Tangzang for $141,000. Mo Tangzang, initially hesitant to commit murder, or I guess also hesitant to commit murder himself, hired yet another hitman. And keep count, by the way. His name was Yang Hengsheng, offering him $38,000 up front with a promise of an additional $71,000 upon completion of the hit. This chain continued yet again as Yang Hengsheng contracted Yang Gingsheng. No relation. One letter off. Yeah. Offering him $28,000 plus $71,000 upon completion. So the money just keeps getting like halved, basically, and it just keeps getting pushed to someone new.
With some I'll what is it? I'll buy this hamburger today and pay you tomorrow, whatever, what is it?
I'll gladly pay you today for a hamburger, or I'll gladly pay you tomorrow for a hamburger today.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. And anybody in like a criminal enterprise, what is the thing, right? Like if you're going to rob a bank, you don't want 26 people being aware of the plan. because it's just more likely someone's going to talk. You keep your circle as small as possible. These guys have not ever seen that movie, I guess. Finally, Yang Gengsheng approached Ling Zhangzi, offering a mere $14,000, just 5% the original contract to carry out the killing. And the fact that this guy is like, yeah, 14 grand? Yeah.
It's like a jobs program, right?
Yeah. And where are all these hitmen? This is like 5 hitmen. Where all these guys know each other. It's like, and if you look
they
at
do.
these guys,
they know each other.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like how many hitmen are in China,
right?
And I have to think too. You're going down this list, like the guy that gets offered $282,000. He's probably like a good hitman. You know what I mean? He's what you would expect. By the time you get to this last guy, he just like this bumbling,
my friend's little brother kind of guy.
Yeah, just has no real plan. Like, kill him, yeah, sure, okay. By April of 2014, nearly 6 months after the original contract, the murder plot took an unexpected turn, and I think you could say the 7th unexpected turn after all these guys are now involved. Ling, the final hitman in this bizarre chain, made a decision that would ultimately expose the entire operation. Rather than attempting to kill Wei, the target, Ling arranged a meeting with the intended victim in a cafe. There, he revealed the contract on Wei's life and proposed an alternative. Which was not, let's go to the police, if you're wondering. That wasn't it. He said they could stage photos of Wei bound and gagged to fake his death, allowing Ling to collect his payment without committing murder. You scratch my back and you scratch my back.
That's incredible.
The victim is getting nothing out of this. So you want me to fake my own death, be bound and take photos for you to collect money and give to this guy who thinks I'm dead? It's just so, I guess you're getting out of it with your life.
Hey, Sean, what do you do? Sean, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to get a bunch of guys together?
When you see photos of these guys, though, this is all going to make, I think, a little bit more sense, because it did to me. I saw him and I was like, oh yeah, I see that failing pretty quickly. There's one guy in there where you're like, he looks like he could be a real hitman. The rest of the guys just look like, I don't know, tax accountants or something.
Interesting.
Is not professional hitmen. Wei, understandably shocked, agreed to the plan. He posed for photographs that would travel. I'm just getting this mental picture of this guy, like, bound and gagged, and he's like looking up at the camera like, huh? Yeah, you got me.
It's like Barbara Mackle when she got kidnapped and she had her eyes closed when she had the kidnap sign up. They're like, can we do it again?
Yeah, can we do it
smile
again?
this time and your eyes be open?
Yeah. I need you to really sell it, darling.
Yeah.
You're frightened. Wei posed for photographs that would travel back up the chain of hitmen to convince Tan, the guy who put this hit out on him, that the deed was done. Wei's cooperation with Ling didn't end with the staged photographs. Armed with evidence, including a white mobile phone containing his photos that had been passed down through the chain of hitmen, Wei reported the case to police, finally. Someone has the brains to do this. Authorities worked their way up the chain, arresting each reluctant assassin one after another. The case wound through the Chinese legal system for years, facing complications, including an initial acquittal due to insufficient evidence. Which sounds odd because, I mean, you had to have like phone records and stuff from at least some of these 6 people involved. You know what I mean? After a prosecution appeal and a 3-year trial, all 6 men were eventually convicted of intentional homicide in 2019, despite, as I said, no homicide actually occurring. Tan received the hardest sentence of 5 years, while the hitmen received sentences ranging from 2 to 4 years, which, like, I found that to be, pretty, like, relatively light sentences. I mean, you ordered a hit thinking and we're
Yeah.
offering a couple $100,000, really wanting this guy dead, and you got 5 years.
It's kinda interesting, the order of the amount that they would get paid is also the order of what their sentence was a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, by the time they get to the last guy, it's like, "You got community service, you're an idiot."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we owe you for bringing this whole thing to light. Um, yeah, Jesus, he's, like, washing the police cars in the parking lot. Uh, this bizarre case, says a lot about human nature and criminal enterprise. The progressive dilution of the contract sum from $282,000 to just $14,000 demonstrates how each participant valued their moral distance from the actual killing. No one wanted to commit murder themselves, yet each was willing to profit from arranging it. Um, so this case is like I said, it's comical.
It's
What a
gold.
failure of criminal enterprise.
I love it. Wow, that's so what happened to the person who was posing for the photos? You said that they got in trouble too.
Yeah, I read that and I actually included it in there, but I was doing some more research, and the first thing you have to know is that this story was shared by, American media, which translations are a problem, and they
Mm,
kind of, as we've seen before, a lot of those had um the same bits of information, because, like, some company translated
yeah.
basically what was happening, and everyone else went, "Oh, we'll share that." But I actually did find a a website that discussed this case at length, and it was translated from Chinese, and I forget what website. It was like China Law Translate or something it was called. Um, and they had a lot of information. I actually have a photo that was on that website that was part of the court filing, which is a timeline of all the events that actually happened, and we can share that on the screen, for the YouTube show. But I couldn't find what this guy got. I don't
Mm,
know if they I don't know that he went to prison, but I can only think, I don't know, man, Chinese law has gotta be so different from
yeah.
here. So, and the other thing is, like, when they release information to the public, like, America typically is very transparent
Right.
with stuff that we just have to be in FOIAs and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't work that way in China, you
Right.
know? So I couldn't find anything about that guy. The only thing I could think is maybe because he didn't go to the police right away, or I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
It's to me, I listen to this as like it's another case of this would be a great movie.
Yeah, patent pending. Um,
Oh,
yeah, for
you've got
sure.
you're talking to your people?
Yeah, I'm talking to my people right now. But
Okay.
probably 150 other people in Hollywood are too. But yeah, it's just got the, like I said, because no one was actually hurt. It's like, it is such a comedy of errors. And I can only imagine, as I said, that as you're going down and further down this list of, like, the guy who's going to do this for $14,000 is probably not someone that reliable for a
Yeah.
for a hit.
I wonder how
Um,
common it is. Like, I wonder if this is just, like, the norm or, like, this is a one-off, you know? Like, is this just the way everyone tries to do this? Because for every one of these guys to think about doing this a different way and not taking responsibility tells me at least, like, this isn't the first time that this has happened. Not
well, yeah,
necessarily with this crew, but with another crew.
yeah. Well, it's also interesting that all of those guys had the idea of, like, pawning it off on someone
Right.
else and basically cutting the money in half. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
can't imagine. I wouldn't think that, guy number one is like, "All right, hey, man, do this thing I got offered, and here's how much I got offered, and here's how much I'll give you."
Right.
And then the next guy says the same thing and just keeps cutting the money in half. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So the fact that all these guys, clearly none of these people wanted to commit murder. And again, when we show the photo in the courtroom, but there's like one guy who looks like he's probably pretty dangerous or could be. And there by the there's a guy that just looks like he is like a I don't know, a computer programmer or something, and one guy is actually, like, kinda smiling and almost laughing. It's so bizarre. I thought it was, I don't know, man. I read that and I thought it was so funny. I was just what
Yeah,
a
well
what
done,
a
it's great.
bumbling bunch of idiots.
It it
Uh,
it almost compared well, it's actually better than the guy showing up with the, tree branches on his head when he tries to rob the bank, like,
oh god, yeah.
like, the criminals are it's a
Yeah,
wide range of characters.
the guys that were robbing the house and took magic marker and drew on their faces
True, that's another good one, yep,
instead of
and
wearing
Batman,
masks.
yep, it's great.
God, I love it. I just love how stupid some criminals are, you know? Like, it's really for our entertainment value.
The guy
Um,
that duct tape his face to hide his yeah, I mean, it's all over the
yeah.
board.
Yeah, it's everywhere.